troublemaker.
You get down there.
You too. This is Lake Huron. It is quite a bit cooler here. I stupidly wore shorts and I'm freezing. And I want to go back to the truck and get pants. Alright, we just arrived at the Airbnb. It is Friday, September 19th. I had to think about it. Super cute. Walk up, so it's got our own private entrance at the back of the house. And you come up the stairs, and once you're up at the top of the stairs, you can turn left. And cute little kitchen. The wallpaper super cute back there. Open shelving. Nice fridge, full kitchen. There's a dishwasher, sink, refrigerator, and two cute little chairs to pull up so we can have, we'll probably do breakfast there. Usually we do our own breakfast. Nice gas stove. Scott and I brought our griddle because we're silly like that. Or Scott will say I am. He said he didn't care. So, full-size fridge. Some storage down here. Scott's sitting on a little couch. A cute little Michigan pillow back there. All the pictures are really cute. Looks like local pictures. There's a lighthouse. And then there's a couple more chairs. There's a cute little desk over there so you could like work. Nice sized TV. There's a little electric fireplace. Do not run the fireplace and air conditioner at the same time. It will trip the breaker. Good to know. It got cool though. We might actually want to turn the fireplace on. It might be nice this evening. Here is our bedroom. Queen size bed. Nice storage. Even there's no closet, but she's got all this open shelving in here. And there is an air conditioner. I don't think we'll need it. Is it really cooled down? I think it's in the 60s. So front window. Window over here. It's a little hard to see out. It's got all that moisture inside the seal. So I can see that's Lake Huron. So there's another window. This window is hard to see out. But there's Lake Huron. And there's another window. Yes, this is better. There we go. And that's our view. That's how close we are to Lake Huron. And then there is a lighthouse. I can kind of zoom. Really zoomed, sorry. Okay. Now I'm going to backtrack. I haven't even seen the bathroom. I literally just got here. Coming back. Two window air conditioning units here, but it's September in Michigan, so we probably will not be using those. And then there's a door here. It's locked. I would assume that might take you downstairs to, there's another rental unit downstairs. So I have a feeling that might be the stairs. All right, and here is our bathroom. Just one bathroom, that's fine. Nice towels. Sink. Me. Shower looks nice. So lots of updates. It's an older home. I want to say it was built in the late 1800s, so it's older, but seems sturdy enough. So, all right. Well, here is first night. We are all settled in, and we have a few more things to get out of the truck, and then we'll have to figure out where we're going to have dinner. And if we want to do any sightseeing before the end of the evening. It's going to get dark pretty soon though, so we'll probably need to head off to a restaurant soon. All right, we're out. So I wanted to do a quick recap of day one of our trip to Harbor Beach, Michigan. So we left on Friday, September 19th, 2025, and Scott had already worked the day. He got off work a little early, so he got home a little before 3 p.m. And we finished packing up and loading up the truck, and we got out the door about 4 p.m., I think. And the drive was going to take us a little over 2 hours. I think it was like 2 hours and 15 minutes. Might have been a little longer because with us leaving at 4, rush hour traffic already had started. And our first half hour was definitely heavier traffic. Google routed us a little funky in the beginning. Granted, I know it was because of traffic and everything. So some of the roads were not ideal. Some of them were dirt roads. And we knew, like going up into the thumb of Michigan from where we were coming from, that it might not all be highway. I wish we had routed, finally towards the end, we routed ourselves a little bit different and adjusted how Google was taking us over so that we could head more up the coastline and have prettier views and see Lake Huron a little bit more, or at least have some options to stop at, like a roadside park. Typically in Michigan, especially if you're driving along the coastline of one of the Great Lakes, they have a lot of state roadside parks. So that's a neat option. Granted, we only stopped at one on the way. By the time we got ourselves routed over by the water and then started headed north towards Harbor Beach, I think we only did come across like one option to stop. So we did stop at it. That was the video at the very beginning of this video, was at the state roadside park. So we arrived at the Airbnb a little after 6, so we made good time and got ourselves all settled in really quickly. We typically will bring some groceries with us when we know we're staying at a house that has a full kitchen. We don't do a lot of meals in the Airbnbs that we stay at, but we always usually do breakfast. And that's just like a great way, if you bring your own food or you stop at a grocery store and pick up food. I love just doing breakfast at the Airbnbs because it gives you, one, I know the food's going to be really good. And two, it just gives us an opportunity to kind of like talk about what do we want to do today and plot out our day while we're like putting together breakfast and then sitting down and eating. And then you don't feel rushed or anything like that. At least we don't. That's, part of our vacation is we want to make sure that we're resting and relaxing in there too. So it just gives us a little bit time to kind of relax and be leisurely in our day. So we unloaded all our the food that we had brought. So I had packed up eggs and bacon and cheese and strawberries and stuff like that. So we had quite a bit of different options. I did forget a couple things like hash browns and some snacks and stuff. So when we got ourselves all unpacked at the Airbnb, we looked to see what kind of grocery stores were nearby. And up in the thumb, it's a little bit more remote and there's not a lot of options, especially after Labor Day. A lot of things close early and it was already going on like 6:30. And so when I looked to see what options we had, there was a Dollar General, because if you live in Michigan and you live up in the northern parts of Michigan, you know that you can always get to a Dollar General. Guarantee if you're in a city, there is a Dollar General. So there was, and it was a good one. It had everything that we needed. So we ran up there. I think it was like less than 5 minutes from the Airbnb too. So that was even better. And we got what we needed, grabbed those things, and then took them back to the Airbnb because it was so close, and put those away. And then we were like, oh, we better head to dinner because it's like 7 o'clock. And again, like we're up in the thumb, so you're limited on choices. So there was a couple of bar grill options, and I wish we had gone with one of those options, but we didn't. We had driven by this place called the Williams Inn, and so we decided we'd go there. And I thought they were open till 10, so I was like, oh yeah, they're open for a few more hours, so that's all good. So we got there, and as soon as we got to the door, I was like, oh, they close at 9. but it's seven at that time. It was exactly 7:30. So I was like, oh, that's not bad. You know, they closed like in an hour and a half, so it's not like we were right walking in as they were closing. But I knew they did a buffet, so I was a little worried, like, are we getting there kind of late for the buffet? And don't groan. I know, like, I should know better. I already, if anybody's watched my Alaska land and sea cruise, um, I talk often that we were always eating at the buffet, and I wish we had done some different options in there instead of the buffet. It wasn't like it was bad, but it was just a lot of eating at the buffet. So why would I go and choose a buffet again? I don't know. And then as soon as we walked in the door, like red flags too, because it said seat yourself. And then we're looking around to pick a table, and either the tables were occupied or people had left, but nobody had bothered to clear the tables. And so there were still plates and food all over the place. And so we kept walking further back into the restaurant looking for a table. Then you're like feeling committed to, well, now I'm all the way in the back of the restaurant and I feel like I should sit down. So we did. We finally found a table that was clear. The tables were big though. They were like to accommodate like a family of 10 or something. So it seemed silly for the two of us to take up that table. But we did. And we sat down. The waitress came right over. So I'm like, oh, that's a good sign. She came right over, took our drink orders, and she talked about the buffet and what kind of food was on the buffet. And it was $16.95 a person. So I was like, wow, that's really cheap. Again, it should have been like a red flag. It was a buffet for that cheap. But we were like, all right, we're up in the thumb. Things are affordable. And so we're like, we're here. We need to eat. Let's just try it out and hope for the best. So we went, you could go up immediately as soon as she told her that you're doing the buffet. And there was a lot of fried foods up there, of course. So fish sticks, and they were cod and like popcorn, shrimp. I think there was some perch up there too. It was fried. There was roast beef. The roast beef was good. I had some of the fish sticks, the popcorn shrimp. I made a salad too. There was a salad bar. I kept it limited on things because some things I was like, oh, I feel like they might have been sitting out for a while. So I just put some lettuce, tomatoes, the dressing, cheese. And I think I skipped the cucumbers because they looked a little iffy. And then Scott was like, just keep watching to see, is anybody bringing up fresh food to the buffet? So we were keeping an eye out for that. And thank God we did see, a couple times that they put out some more fresh food. So they put some shrimp out, they put some more fish sticks out. So the first round was not the greatest when we went up there. Like I could tell like the food had been sitting out a little bit. But when we went back out or back up again and got more food, that was a little bit better. So, and the most important thing out of the whole thing was, because I was worried when we got back to the Airbnb, I was like, well, now we just wait to see, do we get food poisoning? And we didn't. Neither one of us got sick. So we're like, all right, couldn't have been that bad. We survived. So it was not the worst experience, but it could have been better. So it was still a good day. And like I said, it didn't take us that long to get up there. And we were really happy with the Airbnb. The host was the greatest. She was so good about communicating with us, letting us know how to get into the Airbnb, and giving us updates in there too. Some things that she had fixed up between like when we booked and then when we checked in. She had replaced like the stair treads. The city had come out and worked on the sewer lines, and she let us know about that and said it was done, but the yard had been a little tore up, so she was warned about that. And just checking in, when we checked in to make sure we had everything we needed. And it wasn't like intrusive or anything like that. She just sent a quick message. Are you doing all right? Do you need anything? So she was amazing. And then I didn't even realize that the street that the Airbnb was on was the exact same street that if you walked all the way to the end of the street, which was only a few houses down, that actually took you to the pier. So the pier was on our same street. And then I already knew that you could see Lake Huron from the Airbnb too. So location wise was just so awesome. So after dinner, we just went back to the Airbnb. It was dark then at that point because it gets dark so early now. And so we just, rested, watched a little TV, and then went to sleep, slept good. And then I will continue. So this will be like a 3-part series. So this was just day 1. And then I'll have a couple more videos to finish up day 2 and day 3. If you made it this far into the video, I just want to send out a big thank you to everybody that's been watching my videos, liking my videos, making comments. It's always appreciated in there. Like anybody that's making content, I give you so much credit. It's a lot of work and not a lot of recognition and reward with it. So if you've been watching my videos and getting some enjoyment out of them, thank you. And if you made it this far in there, please, please subscribe, like, comment, hit the little bell notification too, because I'm going to continue to make videos. So if you hit the little bell, you'll be notified every time I upload another video. All right. I hope you guys had the best day ever. Thank you again and take care.